Well, hello, friends, neighbors. John, your whiskey neighbor here. Welcome down to the Nook and welcome to another talk about Canadian whiskey. Because I woke up today and I was reading some articles and I saw on CBC that the Inter-Provincial Trade Agreement does not include this. Alcohol made in Canada, different provinces, still cannot just move borders and get on shelves and get in front of you, the consumer. I think that's ridiculous. We're going to talk a bit more about that. I'm not a political person, but I do want to share a little bit of what I think. And then, of course, it's a whiskey show. I will talk about these two, I think, excellent Canadian single malts. 3, 4. All right. Thank you for coming back. And I'm not a political podcast in any way, and I really don't want to be. This is actually like a retreat for me from controversy, or I want it to be. This is a hobby, a passion. I enjoy whiskey and I love talking to you guys about it. But the fact that this is all Canadian whiskey, there's no Albertan up here because I wanted to really highlight what I can get, what I can't get in Alberta. But this is great Canadian whiskey. All of this up here is good in one way or another. I like some more than others, but it's all good Canadian whiskey. But it's not on everyone's shelf, and I really believe it should be. We have to have free trade within our nation, within Canada, and that's ridiculous. It's tough enough for me to talk to the viewers. Many of you tune in, and you can't get it, and I'm like, I kind of understand nation borders, but I do not understand provincial borders. That's ridiculous. I have two whiskeys up here, and they're both natural color. And if you can't see the difference even on this camera, I don't know what's going on. They are beautiful and different. This first one, this is sprightly. It's youthful. It reminds me of a prosecco. It's a kind of a white wine. And very, very sweet, light, fruity on the nose. Interesting. So in general, and as I put them out, I had to shift bottles around, and I think I may not even have them perfectly, because I'm in Alberta, and we have one of the most open liquor board and private sale in Canada. And so we actually can get quite a bit of Canadian whiskey. But I think I've got this right, which is these are mail order or drive-by. I've driven through. These distilleries aren't on Alberta shelves because it's just too tough to get there. Now, I think Black Fox is now. And these over here are available on the shelves. Now, if you were to go through them, you're going to find that we either have the big houses, Wiser's, Crown. Signal Hill is not a big house, but it is supported by a pretty big house. So it is a well-funded whiskey house, if I may. But then you'll notice that the other ones are our neighbors. BC, Saskatchewan, BC. Oh, I said that already. Sorry, Yukon. I got BC, Shelter Point. And there are tons more that I can actually get, and tons more that I can't get. This is just my collection. Like, this is just literally went to the shelf and went, okay, what do I have for Canadian, because I want to talk about this. So the stuff that most of you see will be pretty big houses, or they've really jumped through the hoops. In fact, that's why I think Black Fox now might be, like, they're Saskatchewan, so they're a neighbor. But I was talking to John, and they started, and I think still most of their business is international. They get international awards often. Oh, they just were named like Distiller of the Year or Spirit Producer International. Darn. Sorry about that. No disrespect. That was an amazing award, but I know they sell a lot internationally, like more than locally. And when I talked to John, owner, producer, he said, John, it's easier for us to sell in Dubai than it is for us to sell in Alberta. He said the amount of paperwork I had to do to get us in Alberta was ridiculous. The cost, the hoops, He said, that's why we started international. We've got local Saskatchewan, and then we went international, and it was a lot easier. Well, that's just wrong. Coming back to this whiskey, I'll let you know what it is. It is one of Canada's only independent bottler. This is from Whiskey for Us, and this is the one that just says, I think it says Saanich Distillery, so I don't think we know what distillery it is. At least it's not on the bottle, but it's got all the stuff that you'd like to know. Now, this is a really nice story. These guys, Kevin, Jeff, they love whiskey, so they wanted to do an independent bottling. So they source Canadian whiskey, and then they also get help from this guy, Last Straw, Don DeMonte. He will bottle it for them, and he sells it for them on his website. So it's their passion, his support, and of course they also get casks from other Canadian whiskeys. And it's a 53%. It's only 4.5 years old, 1 year in used Canadian and 3.5 in Muscatel. And the thing is with Muscatel, for me anyways, is there's so many different varieties. So I don't know if this is a sweet musk or a darker musk, or fortified likely, because those are usually the casks used to age whiskey. But let's taste this. Cheers. More body comes across in the pop. It's a little bit spicy. I've got a little bit of peppers and a little bit of just bright wood tannins, spices, which really helps counteract the sweetness on the nose. Not counteract. Counteract sounds like I don't like it or I'm pushing it away. I would say it complements, and it gives more depth to the whiskey. The nose, to me, is really quite sweet, quite fruity, quite green grape type fruit. But the palate adds layers, adds some spicing, adds some oak, adds some woods. It's a little bit drying on the back end. Another quick sip. Yeah, there's a little bit of lemon tartness, a little bit of sourness, just a little bit of, what is that? I lost it. It's still a bit malty. It definitely is young. At 53, it's right there. It's hugging me. It's saying hello, coating that glass beautifully. I think these guys, Spirit for Us, sorry, they've changed their label. I read Whiskey for Us because they have other spirits now, so they changed this up, whether it's a whiskey or a different spirit. But these guys are just awesome. They're doing it right in Canada. They're trying to find casks around the country and then highlight them just as independent bottlers do in ways that the distiller themselves isn't releasing the product. So it's very small house and it's different, and I love it. Back to the challenge at hand. So, well, either these are long established or, big houses with money, or there's dedicated people like John at Black Fox. These ones are phenomenal and you can't get them. Paradigm I had to order, and they had Canadian Whiskey Awards. Odd Society. I don't know if Odd Society's trying to get in Alberta, but I would buy your stuff, Gord. That is just so sweet. I don't know what else do I have here. Okanagan. I thought maybe their BRBN is available, just maybe. But it's hard to get. You got to order from the distillery. And John Sleeman's and Sons I put over here because this particular bottle, you had to get from the distiller or mail order. But they are a bigger supported house. They're still pretty small in the whiskey scene. But I would have put like the other bottles that I have of theirs over here because it is on the shelf in just about everywhere. I think Sons of Van is on the shelves with their wheat whiskey, their wheated rye, at least in a few provinces, or it will be. So that's good that they're finally getting on the shelves. But this stuff, you gotta get on their mailing list. I had to click refresh, buy to make sure I got this Realms of Rye 3 up ahead. So what I want to talk about though is the crime that we have to order direct, pay all kinds of shipping, even though sometimes it's not too bad because we're shipping 1 or 2 bottles. I'm glad we can. I'm glad the new agreement says everyone can ship direct. But obviously at scale, if deals are made across provinces or with stores to put, buy boxes of whiskey bottles, that's not really, the industry calls them boxes. But anyways, the point here is there's going to be savings on shipping and we'll all be able to enjoy the liquid. And we can go down to the store, look at it instead of knowing to go online. Let's talk this whiskey. I picked this because I believe it's such a contrast to this one. It's also a Canadian single malt, but it is all the reds. I've got some raisins, I've got some black currants. Definitely darker things. And actually, I've already highlighted the bottle, so I may as well show you. This is that single cask from John Sleeman's and Sons. This is where they sold this and a rye. I have that as well. Bought them immediately as soon as they came out for a couple of reasons. One, I'm excited to see what they're evolving out there. Two, this one I think has got like 5 or 6 years. I think 6 years on it, so it's it's decent age. It's also a really strong percent, 50 something. What is it? I should know. 54.5. So it's nearly a cask strength. It is a single cask release. I think it's somewhere around $75. So that actually is a good value when you're playing with all of that credential. Let's try it on the palate. Cheers. This also has some peppering, some spicing. It starts a little darker, a little more nuts. Plays somewhere between walnut bitter and sweet almond. It's right in there. It absolutely feels like a contrast to this one. This one's a little more youthful, 4.5. This one's a little older at 6. They're both full in those 50 percentages. I need another sip of this one. Cheers. Right now, the differences are, you can see even in their natural color. Right now, my palate is liking this one just a little more. I appreciate this one quite a bit, but it's not what I reach for, just as I'm not a wine fellow. But when I do have wine, I tend to like the Bordeaux's, the Pinot, the reds that are behind and augmenting this single malt. Then I do like, and if this is a red wine, because you can have, if it's a lighter casking and didn't have that much effect on the color, this tastes everything like a Prosecco to me. Anyways, I tend toward this. This is aligning with my personal preference more. I do prefer this. It's a really, really good whiskey. From Hello, I really didn't have more thoughts than we got to get this done, Canada. I think it's an embarrassment that we have a new interprovincial trade, and I'm thankful we do, and I'm thankful it will open up doors for those industries that are included in that. I don't want to be negative that we finally got something across the plate, because in politics, that seems like it never, ever gets done. But anybody on here that has any influence at all, we need to be able to sell to ourselves. We need Alberta stuff to be in Ontario. We need Ontario stuff to be in Alberta. And we need whatever the red tape is to just be reduced or gone. We're a very small nation. Our whole our whole country is like, haven't seen the statistics, but maybe the population of California, one state. And we're only going to get ahead if we are strong together. We talk elbows up. I'll put Sip the North on here. Thanks, Tyler, CY Whiskey Wire, for doing that. Seaway, sorry. But we're really only going to be stronger together. And we have to remove every single barrier across this country so we can sell to each other, encourage each other, and build each other up into the strong nation that I know we are economically. That's my thoughts. Do you have any of these whiskeys? Can you get all of them on your shelf and I'm totally wrong? I should shoot just an Alberta special and then ask anyone from Ontario, hey, what can you actually get? LCBO is one of the biggest liquor boards in the universe as far as I know, and I want all of Alberta stuff out there in Ontario, just as I want all of Ontario stuff on our shelves. Thanks for joining me. Have you had either of these whiskeys? Talk down below. The conversation is always the best.